When you think of two-way dominance in the NBA, one name stands out: Kawhi Leonard. Nicknamed the Klaw, Kawhi built his reputation as one of the most complete players in the game. Welcome back to Court Vision, where we break down the film on the greatest games, players, and schemes. So let's forget about all the drama revolving around Kawhi Leonard and his $28 million he received from a Steve Ballmer partially owned company, and let's just get to the film. Let's start with defense because that's where Kawhi made his name. Watch how he uses his massive 7'3" wingspan. He doesn't just reach, he angles his body to cut off driving lanes. During his elite prime, which was approximately 2013 to 2017, with the San Antonio Spurs, he had defensive win shares of 3.9, 4.4, 5.5, and 4.7, which is consistently amongst the top 6 in the league. His defensive rating during that span also ranged from 98.2 to 96, which also ranked in the top 10 league-wide. So he won back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards with these numbers in 2014, 2015, and 2015-2016 seasons, respectively. Not all of these clips and highlights are flashy, but it's all about positioning. Kawhi rarely bites on fakes, keeps his chest square and hands active, and he always anticipates where the offensive player wants to go, cutting off the lanes to the basket. That's why even elite scorers struggle against him. He's not just reacting, he's dictating. He's also known as the LeBron stopper back in the day when he played for the Spurs. In that Spurs series against the Miami Heat the first time around, he was a main reason why they won that finals series. A young Kawhi came into the league, locking down some of the most elite scorers in that time, and in that time period was James Harden, a prime Steph Curry, and he was locking these guys down. Like I said, LeBron James is on that list, but it's a very long list of people, and it's hard for a young guy to stay so disciplined and be able to stop elite players so early in their career. Kawhi is all about defensive positioning and cutting off angles. His length is what allows him to get blocks and deflections too, but it leads to more. And one of the best things about having a defensive guy on your team is that you get out in transition so often for easy buckets. Everybody wants a two-way player like Kawhi Leonard. Yes, he can get a bucket, which we'll get into in a little bit. His mid-range game is absolutely insane, but it really starts with his defense and his impact on that side of the floor, giving his team an edge. Remember to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as it helps us the most, and check out our description and bio, including our link tree to all socials and Fanatics gear. As an affiliate of Fanatics, we do make commission off these links, and check them out, as we'd like to give you all the best content possible. Kawhi is deadly in the mid-range. His post-work bag in combination with this creates easy opportunities and great shot selection. We talked about his length being a factor in his defense, but it has translated to his offensive game as he has become a consistent scorer throughout his career. On this particular play, you'll see Kawhi Leonard come off of 2 ball screens. Well, not really, because the second screen Zubac will slip. This forces Max Christie, who is a smaller defender, onto Kawhi Leonard. This will become important towards the end of this play. But you see Kawhi Leonard has a lot of space at this right elbow wing area to work with. Now he decides to go down the middle, and he uses his body on the shoulder bump you're about to see here to spin off and shoot the ball over the defense. But I wanted to pause before the shot occurs, because what are you supposed to do with this? If you're Max Christie, this is as close as you can get to Kawhi without fouling. He has so much length over top, and the release is really high, you cannot get to it. So Kawhi shoots over so many people. Max Christie is just one of the victims here, but Kawhi Leonard has the ability to get to his spots and make the shot. I'm going to play this clip, and I want you to think about how a great scorer should survey the floor before going off the dribble. If you saw all the space in the right corner of the floor, you'd be correct in seeing this, and that's the spot we want to get to. But it's not always that easy. You have to set it up first. Here, Kawhi will go to the left and go towards the middle to set up spinning back, using pace, by the way. He goes fast into a slow spin post move, into a fadeaway in the corner. This is how you survey the floor and take advantage of all the space you have, and how you create and get to that spot without just going right there. Some more mid-range post work for you. Kawhi Leonard will choose to go down the middle of the lane and get into a turnaround jumper. Now on the spin move here, you see Jimmy Butler is leaning into the middle and Draymond Green is reaching towards the spin move. And when he goes to do the turnaround jumper, Jimmy Butler is not in a good position to even get a contest by the time Kawhi is already into his shot. And you see how much space is created here, allowing for an easy bucket in the middle of the paint. To start this play, you might see that Steph Curry is going to double Kawhi from the middle of the floor, and you might think Kawhi has no chance of scoring a bucket here. But again, Kawhi's go-to move to A, protect the ball, and B, get an open shot is that little spin move. So even though there's a double team, he will spin back to the baseline, and you see how much space he creates again going towards the corner. And they send help from the backside under the bucket, I believe is Draymond closing out. He still has enough room to shoot over the top like we saw on a previous clip over Max Christie, except this time, different defense, different defenders, and same result. Here's a play from one of his most recent playoff series in the 24-25 season against the Nuggets, and again, it's his turnaround jumper. Very difficult move, but a very simple and easy bag. He does not really expand his bag that often because he doesn't need to. He still creates space over the defender, and it's not just a Max Christie. It's not just an undersized Draymond Green and help side. This is an Aaron Gordon who's about 6'8", who's also known as one of the best defenders in our league. So this is crazy to me that he can still get a move off like this against one of the best defenders when it's needed most in playoff time. And if that last clip wasn't enough proof, here's a shot over Victor Wembanyama. And on the next play, we'll see him use his body. And he's done this in other clips that we have seen. I just failed to mention it, which is also a big part of his game and that spin move I was talking about. So here he uses his body and gets a floater over top of Victor Wembanyama again. Kawhi has had some clutch moments in his career, which is something I know very well as a Sixers fan. Kawhi Leonard has penciled himself in as a future Hall of Famer and penciled in his legacy as one of the best in the game based off of this shot alone and his playoff run after this to get to the NBA Finals and win it all. Even against a hindered Warriors squad in the Finals, he still proved that he was able to take his new team, Toronto Raptors, to win a championship regardless. He is one of the most clutch players we've seen in a while or even ever. Kawhi had the highest effective field goal percentage in clutch playoff situations since 1996-97 season. And the metrics place Kawhi ahead of legends like Shaq and Steph Curry in terms of clutch scoring efficiency. And another stat line, since 2015, Kawhi Leonard had 145 points with a 63.0% true shooting percentage, which is fourth behind Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Jimmy Butler. Kawhi Leonard is a rare breed, a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the best two-way forces the league has ever seen. Whether it's locking down stars or hitting dagger jumpers, Kawhi's game is built on precision, power, and poise. But that'll do it for Court Vision, a Life in the Stands production. Who should we break down next? Drop a comment, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and more. Remember, film never lies.